Okay, so I just unboxed my Z-LED taillight retrofit kit. It's a do-it-yourself kit made by a guy named Sam Adams out in Texas. This is actually the II.C kit for the R32 GTR. And what it is, it's essentially a halo ring consisting of individual bulbs that creates your daytime running light, and all these individual bulbs in the middle there, those are your brake lights. And everything is very nicely integrated into essentially a circuit board, and you get what you pay for. And yet with the conversion rate to Canadian dollars, it's a little bit more, but I feel that the cost is well justified for a product of this caliber. Very, very well done. So what we have here, we have the turn signal panels, 24 orange LEDs, and I got the optional plug-and-play harnesses, so this plugs right into the bulb socket, makes it very easy to install. Next we have these resistors to prevent hyperflashing, and you get 2 of those. Apparently they get really hot, so you do want to mount those onto a metal frame in the back of your car there. And finally, the main items that come with the kit. So you have 4 LED panels, obviously one for each light in the taillight setup for the R32. So on the back of this, you just have a simple connector to connect to the secondary unit, or the primary unit I should say. And the primary unit has a secondary board on it, and I got the optional plug-and-play adapters for this as well. And if you see this little adjuster here, that actually adjusts the speed at which the turn signals flash, or sorry, the brake signals flash. So if you got the optional sequential light, that's what you use to adjust the speed at which the brake lights turn on, and they'll blink in an outward fashion. Same thing with the other side, identical boards, and everything looks fairly straightforward. And yeah, I'm looking forward to installing this. Okay, so right now I have the assembly with the actual bulbs hooked in out of the housing, and you'll see the wiring which you're gonna have to splice into to make the resistor work for the hyperflash module. And if you turn around, you will see that the tail light is comprised of actually 2 lenses, the red one and the clear one for the turn signal. So we're going to take a heat gun to it for about 5 minutes, and hopefully everything comes out nice and clean. Okay, we have an almost complete R32 tail light housing with the Z-LED II.C LED kit in there. So everything has been pretty straightforward. Taking off the red lens took a little bit of effort. So this glue is actually really thick. You want to take your time with it using a heat gun, about 15 minutes at medium heat. And you want to use a couple of different tools to kind of get underneath the lens to pry it out. So I used a little pick to kind of hook under it, mixed with a skinny flathead there. So after you've taken the center lens out and the main lens out, everything is pretty much exposed. The LED boards actually come with 4 tabs in a cross pattern, and what you'll do is put the board up against your assembly, make sure it's centered, and mark where the tabs are. After that, I took a Dremel and I drilled out little notches in those positions so that the board would just drop right in. So I used some plastic welder, JB Weld, whatever you want to use. Dabbed a little bit in each of the notches, placed the board in, and then went over the tabs with a little bit more adhesive. And kind of same thing with the middle there. Underneath here, it's just a rectangular rim, and again I put adhesive around the rim, placed the board on, and yeah, let it cure for a few hours, and it should be dried enough to pop in the oven and reheat the glue, assemble everything back on, and put it back on the car. The other portion is this back portion, which has the sockets. So what you get in the kit is this resistor. This resistor prevents hyperflashing. It gets pretty hot apparently. So what I did is actually use some heat resistant tape. I put 2 layers under there, taped it underneath, drilled a couple of holes for the wiring to go through the other side. And what you need to do is tap into the turn signal, one ground wire and the power wire. So if you look closely here, power wire is that green wire there, and I tapped into one of the ground wires going to the other socket there. And the LED actually provides these really convenient Scotch clips, and all you do is run the wire through, clamp it down, and that's it. So a nice and clean install. I taped that down, and it's actually pretty secure, so I'm pretty comfortable with that. And another thing that I should probably mention is if you turn to the back here, you're gonna have to make a couple of channels, which I did with a Dremel, and that just lets you run the wiring behind the assembly without that getting in the way when you pose everything back up. So super easy. Your plug and play adapters there with the speed adjuster if you got the sequential brake lights. And it's just 2 sockets. Everything is connected on the back of the boards here. And yeah, super nice product. And can't wait to put this on the car.
Skills. Rest in peace.